Hi everyone, in this video tutorial I am going to discuss about composite primary key. So first question is, what is composite primary key? A composite primary key is a combination of one or more columns that forms a primary key. When a database table contains more than one primary key column, it is known as composite primary key or a composite key. It means when we are using more than one column to define a primary key in a table, that primary key is known as a composite key. In JPA, we have two options to define the composite key. First option is by using @id class annotation, and second way is by using @embedded id annotations. So rules of composite key. The composite primary key class must be public. It must have a no-arg constructor. It must be serializable, and it must define setters and getters method. Okay. And here we are using the first way to define the composite key in JPA by using the @id class annotations. So let's say we have a table called student course info. Like we have one table. This table name is student course info, and it contains 4 columns: student name, student ID, course, and durations. And the student ID and course, that forms the composite key. And we want to make a composite key by combining the column student ID and course column. Now we have to map it in JPA. Okay. So as we can see here, in database level, in table, we already defined these two key as a composite key. These are the primary key. Now we need to implement this thing in JPA also. So here is our project. In this application, only we have this main class. Here we already integrated the Swagger also for just testing our application, and one controller class is there. And in pom.xml file, we have dependencies like MySQL dependency for connecting to the MySQL database, and this is Swagger dependency, Spring Fox Swagger 2, and Spring Fox Swagger UI dependencies, and this is application.properties file. So this first properties I have used for matching the path regarding the Swagger, and these properties are regarding the connecting your Spring Boot application to MySQL database. Like this is the database URL and username and password of your MySQL database, and this is the driver class name. So here it is saying like if we want to define any composite key, then first we need to create one bean, and this bean must implements the serializable interface, and then define these two variable, means the column names which combine and make the composite key. Okay. And next, associate the composite key ID class with the entity student course info. Okay. So, first we are going to make this entity class. Our entity class name is student course info. Okay. Then make one package. com.db.demo.entity and create one entity class student course info. This is our entity class. So, annotate it with @entity. And here we need to just define the 4 variable: student name, student ID, course and duration. Student name, student ID and course and our last column is duration. Okay. So, these are the 4 columns and generate the getters and setters. Yes. So, now we created our entity class and which having the 4 variables: student name, student ID, course and duration. And in table we just created our composite key by combining these 2 column name, student ID and course. So, in JPA, if we want to make any composite key, then we need to create one separate bean class which is having these 2 variables only. So, create one package, bean package, com.db.demo.bean, and in this bean we just we need to create one class, this one. This class would implement the serializable interface and the class name is composite key ID class. composite key by using id class annotations. So here I am writing id class. It should implement the serializable interface. And here we need to define these two columns only, student ID and course. So just copy it and paste there. Okay, and it should have the default constructor and also getters and setters also. So let's create the getters and setters. Okay, and now in entity class we just need to make one change. Here we just need to define the composite key bean name. By here we need to use one annotations which is called @id class annotations, and inside this bracket we need to define our composite key bean name. So this is our class. We just define the dot class file here. Okay, import this, and in this class we have these two IDs variable, student ID and course. So here to make these two variable ID, we need to use one annotation which is called @id annotations. Student ID and course. Now these two are the IDs, they combine and make the composite primary key. Then our next task is we need to create one method in this REST controller for testing our applications. So here we first need to take the save method, and then we will define the show method also. So just take here add post mapping, and in this post mapping define the URL. URL is save. Define the method. Our return type is response entity. And our method name is add student course. And inside this bracket we just need to define one annotations which is called add request body annotations. No, add request body. Okay, and here we need to pass one bean which column name are column name are similar. So here here two things we need to we can do. We just take one separate bean and or the second way is here we can pass this entity class also as a bean. Okay. So what here whatever the request we just pass through the Swagger, these map with this column name. Then our next task is we need to define one DAO layer also for our database operations. And for DAO layer we need to create one class. So first we need to create one package here, like com.db.demo.dao, and in this DAO we need to create one DAO class. So let create that DAO class, new class. Our class name is student course DAO. So this is our repository class. So just annotate with add repository. And auto wire this DAO class here. In this application we don't have our service layer because it is not required. So from controller we directly call to our DAO class. Here dot save student, and the return type is this entity. It is saying create method in student course DAO. Okay. So in DAO we need to just define our save method. First for defining save method we need to create one entity manager object. So here create it, entity manager, oh sorry, and auto wire it. So here our entity manager object is created, and then we need to call here persist method. Okay, here we need that entity class. Okay, I think we had make the mistake here. Pass this bean here, which we are getting from the request. Change okay. Yes. So pass this bean here and here in return type we just return this bean here. Okay. So this save method is created now. Replace this t with this variable, this entity class type, and now we need to return the response entity object here. Return response entity object here. And here we just return this entity and with status OK. Okay, yeah. So here our save method is created. Let's see. Here we are calling that DAO layer, and its DAO layer we are calling this persist method, and just returning that same bean here, and this is our entity class. One thing, I think here one annotation is more required, which is called at transactional. Otherwise it is not going to save anything in our DB. Here our application is almost completed, so now run it. Okay, it is starting, and this is our Swagger. Okay. In this controller we have this add student course method, and here we can see here, like in this table currently it is a complete empty table. So, we need to just insert few record here. As you know, these two field, course and student ID, combine and make the composite key. It means these two field are identical for each row. Okay. So, first take Java as a course name and duration 6 months, and suppose student ID is 001 and student name is Ravi, and save this. And let us say see in our table, here Ravi is successfully saved in our DB, which student ID is 001 and course is Java. Okay. And suppose here again we want to save a record, and course name we have taken here C and duration 1 month, and student ID 002 and name is Mohan, and save this. Again one more row is inserted in our table. Okay. And these two column name should be unique for all the rows. Okay. Suppose one more row we need to insert here, and course name Python and duration 3 months, and again student name is Ravi. Okay. Suppose by mistake someone again want to insert the Ravi information which already inserted, like here course name is Java and duration 6 months and the student ID is 001. So, again in our DB this information is already stored where the student ID is 001 and course name is Java. So, if again we want to insert the same key value, then it will not going to insert in this table. It raises the exception like constraint violation exception. Okay. Primary key, we cannot insert the same key. And suppose one more Ravi is there, but their ID is different. So, let us say this Ravi ID is 003. So, now it will going to be inserted in our table. Okay, you can see here. Now, there is 3 record. Name is Ravi same, but the student ID and course should be different for all the rows. Okay. So, here our composite key is working fine. So as in this document, it is defined that there is two way to define a composite key. First way is by using @id annotation, which we already discussed. Okay. So now the second way of making a composite key in JPA is by using these annotations. So for this, like what is written here, @embedded id is an alternative to the @class id annotations. Let's consider some same example where we have to persist some information of student with student id and course as a primary key field. Okay, in this case, the primary key class composite key embeddable must be annotated with @embeddable annotations here. So just we need to create one more bean in our bean package and define these two variable and annotate that bean with @embeddable annotations. Okay. So what is our bean name? Composite key embeddable. Okay. So this is our bean. Just create one more class. This is our class name, embeddable, and this class should implement the serializable interface. Okay, and in this we need to take these two variable, because these two variable are combined and make the composite key in our table. Just create a default constructor and getters and setters. And here we need to use one annotation. What this annotation called? @embeddable. Okay. And let's make some changes in our entity. We already use this @class id annotations and define the composite key, and now we are going to use @embeddable annotations and define the composite key. Okay, so just remove these annotations, and here also remove this one also, and remove this one also. Okay, and then we need to embed this class in the student course info entity using @embeddable id annotation. So here we just using the same bean class here, not the each variable we not need to use here, just define the class name. Okay, this. So now we not need these two variable here, we just need to define this. Okay, and now our application will work same as previously it working. Okay, so why there is error? Okay, setter and getters. So remove these four setter and getter method and then need to create one more setter and getters here. Source generate, yes, generate this. Now it will work fine. Like only one change is here. We just create this class. For using this embeddable composite key, we need to just create one class here and need to pass this class in our entity class, like this. Here we just pass it, and in this class we have defined already the two reference variable, student ID and course. Okay, now it will work fine. So just start our application. Okay. Course name is C++ and duration 2 months, and student ID is 4, and student name is Arjun. Okay, and save this. Oh, sorry, here I make one mistake. We need to refresh it, this Swagger. Okay, and now we can see here there is few change in our this request input value. Now it is showing one reference variable, and inside this reference variable we have the two input, course and student ID input fields, and duration and student name. Okay, so in this course let's C++ and student ID 004 and duration 2 months and student name Arjun. Okay, save this, and no error. It is all, it means our new row is inserted here. Just check this. Okay, yes, Arjun is inserted in table. Okay, and suppose by unknowingly someone again want to add the Arjun in this table. Okay, and he is keeping all the thing same, like course name is same and student ID is also same. So what happen? So now it is giving the constraint violation exception. Okay, for primary key, because same primary key values we can't insert more than once. Okay, in the table. So here you can see no data is inserted, only one Arjun is there. Okay, so now we already discussed how we can implement the composite key concept in our GPA applications. So thank you for watching this video.